Hey guys, welcome to Word for Wednesday. Turning it into more of a Word for Thursday now since I've been so busy on Wednesdays, I'm not getting it out there till Thursday. But in either case, welcome. Glad you could join me today. I want to share with you a little bit of a devotion I had today. It goes back to King Solomon. And we don't, well, I assume many of you know, but I don't want to take it for granted that you all know. King Solomon was king of Israel in the Old Testament. He took over from his father King David, and he ruled the kingdom of Israel for about 40 years. And after becoming king in Israel, God appeared to him and offered to give him whatever he wanted. And Solomon thought about it, and here's what he asked for God. Therefore, give your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours? And that's one of the great things about Solomon. I know he'd have problems later in his life, but his reign started out on a high note because he asked for wisdom. And the reason he asked for wisdom was so that he could do God's work better. Now, we all have spiritual gifts, we all have talents, we all have ambitions, do I dare say? But do we want to use those for God or for our own glory? And we need to ask ourselves that question and make sure we're dedicating ourselves to God's glory, dedicating our gifts to God's glory, and not trying to exalt ourselves. I remember the movie, and it was a book, A River Runs Through It. And I don't remember much about it, but I remember this one line. The main character goes off to a big prestigious university back east. I think the family's living in Montana. So he goes to a big prestigious university back east and spends several years there, gets several degrees, and finally travels back home. And his father, who is a Presbyterian minister, upon his son's return, calls his son into his office and says, "So you've graduated from college now," or something along this line. I know I'm not getting the lines right, but that's not important. What's important is the message. He brings his son into his office and says, "So now you've graduated. That is quite the accomplishment. What do you intend to do with this accomplishment?" Well, so what are your accomplishments? What are your gifts? What are your skills? What are your talents? And what do you intend to do with them? Do you intend to use them for God's glory or for your own? Thanks for joining me on this Word for Wednesday. This is a ministry of Lakefield Baptist Church. We are in the Manistee Lakes area of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. If you're in this area and don't have a church to attend on Sunday morning, you're welcome to join us here Sunday at 11. Thanks.